video of Psychoflakes. My name is Vandana and I'm a counselling psychologist. Today we are going to do a different kind of therapy, which is art therapy. This is a little different from other forms of therapy because over here it's not always about questioning and answering and talking. Over here it is expressing your emotions on a sheet of paper with the help of colors, sketch pen, and you can bring the child in you alive. So the theme for today's topic is going to be anger. So in a counseling session, we always have something as a starting session, mid-session and end session. So even in art therapy, we have something like that. So the warm-up sessions are generally done to ensure that the client comes back to the present. So you might be doing so many different things before coming to a therapy session. So in order to get you to the present, we do the warm-up activity. The mid activity is generally wherein we tackle the situation at hand, and the end activity is very similar to your starting activity. So it just boosts your confidence, it makes you feel happy so that you can get back to your normal routine. So the theme, like I mentioned, is anger. So most of us have experienced anger at one or the other situation. So how do we control or manage our anger in a productive and helpful manner? So for that, we have curated certain series of activities for you. So for the starting activity, what we can do is scribble. So you would have seen a lot of children scribbling at their leisure, right? So very similar to that, let's start. So pick out any color of your choice and you can scribble first with your dominant hand. Dominant hand is nothing but the hand which you generally use for all of your activities. So my dominant hand is right. So you can just take a sheet of paper and scribble for 5 minutes. Intention behind this activity is nothing but many a times we're so focused in doing certain things with only our dominant hand that we don't often use our non-dominant hand. So when we use the non-dominant hand in this particular activity, some of you would have felt it very difficult to write or scribble or even draw for that matter. So over here what we're trying to inculcate is to increase your focus, attention, and to those who are finding it very difficult to let go, to use your non-dominant hand, so that you feel that at times you might not be in control, and when you're not in control as well, this activity helps you to ground yourself and come back to the present. Moving on to the mid activity wherein we actually tackle the issue of anger. So all of you would have seen an iceberg, right? And often psychologists generally say that tip of the iceberg is how much you know a person, and there are so many things below down there, right? So very similar to that, we are going to try to understand our anger. So we can draw an iceberg, and in the tip of the iceberg, you can pick out any particular situations that has made you angry. Alright, and as you start filling the downward part of the iceberg, you can write down all the things that you actually feel when you're in anger. Many a times people can often feel a little bit low, they can feel very scared, fearful, anxious, and that is the reason why their anger is coming out. So in order to replace one emotion, you try to show it as anger. So why don't we try to understand what is the root cause, or what are the different emotions that we feel along with anger. So you can draw it. you can try to tackle down these emotions when you are in that particular situation. So for example, if you're feeling not understood, maybe you can tweak your communication pattern so that the other person understands and your anger levels can come down actually. Moving on to the final activity. So this is an activity which I really love, and especially for anger management, this is something that works out really well. So this is called as the wheel of solutions. So what we're supposed to do is, let us draw a circle. To a swimming tube. So now what we are trying to understand from this activity is that whenever you're in anger, obviously there are so many things that you have tried, and the most common advice that you would have received is to calm down or cool down, right? So that is not possible, because when you're in anger, you are only focused on that particular emotion that you're feeling and you're channeling it out to the other person in front of you or the situation at hand. So let us try to understand what are all the practical strategies that we can use in order to control or reduce our anger a little bit to what it is at the moment. For example, if my anger on a scale of 0 to 10, wherein 0 being the least anger and 10 being the most angry, if it is around 8, let us try to work to reduce that 8 to 7. So what are all the different strategies that we can use to reduce the anger that we are feeling at the moment? So find out what are your cool down strategies. My cool down strategies are ready, and I hope these activities help you to manage your anger in a much more better manner. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Also, we have other social media platforms as well, wherein we try to simplify psychology for all of you. So don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Over there as well, we are Psychoflakes.